You can take my ears, but you cannot take my liberty. They want to cut off my ears like the Taliban, but what they don't know is my ears can grow back like SpongeBob through budding, by the way. Hit me with your best shot, why don't you? Because if that's the best you got, you're a loser. You're such a loser, you missed so bigly, by the way. You had a big opportunity. You could have made my head blow up on TV, but you didn't do that, did you? Now my ear is going to grow back bigger and better. It will have better hearing. I will hear like an owl.
I thought I had the opening. There it is. I wasn't hearing right.
You really blew your ear off, too. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to News from the Pew, where stuff happens and we talk about it. I am your host, Rick Barrett, the Armed Catholic. You can find me at thearmedcatholic.com. And I'm joined by the godfather of Catholic YouTubing and alternative media, the one and only, who finally has some pictures behind him.
I got motivated.
Yeah, he still has a lot on the ground, but there are at least some on the wall, Mr. Steve Cunningham. And unfortunately for you and I, we had a pretty slow news week, buddy, so I don't know what we're going to talk about today.
It took me a while to find any story, man.
So, yeah, let's, all joking aside, we will get into the first main story. Excuse me.
Do we do a coin flip on that? What's the first main story?
I don't know. Let me figure out. I think we'll go with what happened on Saturday. Butler, Pennsylvania. Little event took place there where, they tried to take out old Donnie T. And in case, I'm sure you've heard about it, but in case you didn't hear about it, and here's a quick recap.
I don't have a video of that.
Oh, this is the one video
everybody saw it. I thought YouTube is being a pain with violence. I've had 3 taken down videos for just having a photo clip of a shooting, like a body on the ground, blood. So I don't know if I've been allowed to show actual bullets in the air or gunfire, or I'm not cool like the news, I guess. So I don't know what level that needs to be. Literally, I just had one taken down the other day for having blood on a photo.
Well, YouTube is cracking down on gun channels anyway, or anything including or regarding firearms. So yeah, that doesn't shock me too much.
Everyone's seen what's happened. Everyone's seen the video.
Oh yeah, everybody has. So Steve, what are your thoughts on what took place out there in Butler?
It was a nice sunny day. No, full disclosure, was a Saturday. Yeah, I get home and usually, let's see, what did we do? We went to the antique store, and by the time we got the kids down after dinner, all that, I'd like to check out the weather, see if I need to go out and water the plants. And there was breaking news up in the shooting that happened. I go, all right, well, forget about this channel. I'm going to go check out the Braves game. That was supposed to be on Fox. Little Fox News was in the local channel. All right, darn it. Racing. All right, let me see if racing's on. Racing was on CBS. MSNBC, or was CNN was on the CBS channel. What is going on here? And this apparently got shot like at 6/11 because it was 6/11 because I'm told some reason that was prophetic in some Ephesians 6:11, even though there's 60 some odd books with 6:11 in there, but Ephesians 6:11 has to be it, because
and you had the flag that was shaped like an angel too. Don't forget about that.
On his shoulder.
I believe it. I believe we all witnessed a miracle, literally. From, before it happened, the flag above got blown in the wind and it got tied into literally what looked like an angel. Did you see that video?
I didn't see it.
Oh my gosh, you guys have to find that. It was truly, it was like an angel coming down, and it was the American flag tied. They had to bring it down, and all the people in the stands helped unravel it, and it was literally before he came out on.
So wait, if it was an angel, why would you unravel it? Why would you just leave it? If it was so angelic, why would you would be like, you call the Vatican and try to get like a miracle out of it instead of like taking it down and then nodding it. But evangelicalism, man, it's a hell of a drug. Excuse my language, but it really is. There it is. I thought that was like a hawk. I was like, oh, it looks like a bird.
Yeah, if you're gonna say anything, it looks like a bird flying. I mean, are we putting Christ? If someone sees Christ in a piece of toast, are we elevating that to a level of miraculous status now?
Well, if it's near Donald John Trump, it is.
Well, speaking of that, this is from 2023.
Thinks they'll get sucked into a cult, but it can happen to anyone. Here are 5 red flag warning signs that you've fallen prey to a predatory cult. Cults use constant lies and propaganda, indoctrinating people into believing their cult is right and good. Members and outsiders alike are shunned for disagreeing with the cult's ideology or its leaders, who are believed to have superhuman qualities. They're discouraged from asking questions or thinking critically and are unable to change their minds even when presented with clear evidence of corruption, incompetence, deceit, misconduct, and evil. Cults constantly engage in black and white thinking and fear of the outgroup. We're good, they're bad. We're enlightened, they're brainwashed. We're right, they're wrong. Only our group is moral. Collectivism is key. Cults exploit you financially, taking your money and providing little to no accountability as to how they spend it. They'll insist it's for the good of the group and shame you for not contributing. Cults emphasize special doctrines and set rigid rules and regulations that demand strict obedience. You're punished if you dare to disobey these rules or fail to comply exactly how they expect you to. You might even be punished even when you comply fully or haven't disobeyed at all. Authority is paramount across all variations and brands of cultism, and defying it is sin that warrants brutality. Cults demand intense loyalty to the group and its leaders, who are considered to know best what's right for everyone. Because of this, there's never a good reason to leave. If you do, it's because you're wrong, bad, crazy, and a threat to the security of the group. If this is you, don't panic. Simply stop making excuses for psychopathic authoritarians of all partisan persuasion.
That was a year ago. Before all that, and I mean, you're looking at. I mean, what was another one that just happened? I actually just forwarded saying, "Oh, definitely not a cult." Tim Scott out there.
Oh yeah. During his speech when he was talking about it.
Yeah, this is I don't think I have that video.
Miraculous or
no? That's the pro-Israel convention going on in Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean, great googly moogly. The only miracle that's ever happened in the history of the planet since the resurrection of these people has been Trump, who his son quoted the other day. There's no stitches needed for the year. It's pretty much, he says, like a mosquito bite. And then you got this going on at the RNC.
yeah, that's it's a bunch of old white people being pretty cringy. If you ask me,
I watched a couple minutes just because nobody was on yesterday. Mm-hmm. Let me flip over. I already saw it with Shark Tank, and obviously it was a pro-Israel speech. Everyone's fury.
Yep. I mean, I covered Tuesday night, and I'll cover tonight with Mike Church, and
big DJ is speaking tonight.
Yeah, well, tonight's a big night. Yeah, he is going to descend like the angel that he is. And it's just going to be like full evangelical pastor.
Come over, crowned him as Holy Roman Emperor, and we'll have everyone all happy in all this.
He will be crowned, and it will be great. And the skies will open, and the chariots will come down, and it'll be in just amazing.
You put a poster. Hulk Hogan is talking today too, right?
Oh, man, you know what? This is just like the greatest thing ever. I mean, I've kind of gotten sick of Proud to Be an American by Lee Greenwood. And I really think it's time that since Trump survived his assassination attempt, it's time to him come out to Real American every single time. I mean, he might as well, and I hope Hogan comes out to it tonight. I mean, him and Vince are friends. I don't know why they can't. I don't know why they can't do that.
Well, you brought it up, and you sent it. And the first thing I thought in my mind, I goes, why not? WWF. Politics, both have scripts, both have, we got this side versus this side, and off when the TV's off. By the way, don't you find it funny that it's Trump Vance TV? And not to go all Glenn Becky, but I'm going, well, TV does show you a false reality of a lot of things. I mean, to go back on Saturday. All right, let's throw some questions out there. All right, here's what happened to Reagan.
Back up! Get him out!
He's already gone.
I haven't seen it. I need a photo.
All right, stay back.
All right, so the reaction of people, they jumped on top of people screaming, people running. He didn't ask for his shoes. He didn't get up and take some photo ops or anything like that. Whereas the other one, you see people, it's funny. The lefties are questioning everything right now. Used to be us going, well, I got some questions about this. Hello, time out this. We're thinking we're getting scammed here. No, it's reversed. Now these guys are questioning, and the other side is calling these guys the conspiracy theorists, whereas it used to be these guys were questioning. Now these guys are calling the conspiracy theorists. It's all cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. So yeah, there's shots ring out, and I remember seeing it was a three people panel. It was a black video. Not that it has anything to do with it, but it just shows where this is coming from. And they go, man, if you see black people in a crowded room, a crowded area, and they get shot at, we run it. People going this way. You see any video, Chicago getting shot up, things like that. People running. What did the video on during in Pennsylvania do? You got people sitting down. One guy stands up and starts texting. It looks like there's shots.
That's white people. That's a bunch of white people doing white people things.
Yeah, there's shots that ring out behind the guy. Nobody flinches. Sorry, I mean, my wife jumps when there's fireworks that go off across a mile away. What is that? People are texting putting online. Is that gunshots or anything like that? No place within the hide. No one on the ground moved. Nobody's running over. I mean, nobody's ducking, covering. They're just sitting there. One lady pulls out a phone, starts recording. Nothing. They don't know if they're shooting all over, massive shots, anything like that. The whole thing with the protocol with the Secret Service is duck, cover, and you don't give them a target. No, he gets up. First off, the Secret Service people are below him. So then he gets up and let's give him a target right here. If we don't know if there's another shooter, but let's go ahead and give him let him get up and show everyone up.
So the thing that I've been questioning just every time I watch the video is that the SUV is probably 50 yards back there and there's a clear alley. Why doesn't the SUV back up to the stage and they can just push him into it, just kind of like throw him down into the SUV and it can speed off instead of trying to march him down off that? The longer he's exposed from a security perspective, the worse the whole thing is. And so I was like, why didn't they just pull the SUV, barrel it back to at least the steps instead of trying to march him all the way over there? So there should have been an alleyway for him to get all that stuff out. And that's from my.
They jumped on him. They didn't get him up. I mean, you don't even know where he's at in that video. And then they throw him in the car and you get out.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we go down the step. All of a sudden, we get an Iwo Jima photo op that everyone's making bank on. Hey, by the way, did you say, not to throw screwballs in here? What is it at here? This was interesting. I don't know if anybody saw this. Can someone please explain to me the extreme disparity between trade volume and the day high for Trump stock for Thursday, July 11th, and Friday, July 12th, the day before the assassination attempt? This is directly from TMTG Corp. Thursday volume, 3.9 million. Friday volume, 35.6 million. Thursday day high, $30.31. Friday day high, $15,000. The Friday high has to be a mistake, right? Even if it is, the extreme swing in volume should definitely warrant further investigation. That's 801% increase in one day, the day before the attempt on Trump's life. Compare that with what else? What another lie? The government would never lie to us. Or they would kill people for a thing, because that was another one when Marco Rubio put a tweet out saying God's protecting Trump, and I responded to something like, I guess he doesn't care about that Corey guy. I mean,
it's really hard to say that when an innocent bystander gets taken out by a bullet, and all we do is care about the one guy we like. Yeah,
it was really weird, because then they start saying, well, JP2 and Reagan, and so, well, look at both of those. No one else got killed. There was no one else shot. And I mean, I have no idea what Corey is. I mean, again, we're talking about the same media that said, believe us, we killed bin Laden, and then we wrapped him up and threw him over a ship that you're never going to know if we're not going to show you the body or anything. Just believe us, and we're going to kill everybody that was involved in the whole thing anyways afterwards. So just, trust us, believe us, mask up, and take the jab because trust us, that works. It's the same idea.
Well, speaking of the jab, Joey B's got long COVID. So, yeah.
But what was her name?
These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump
Joy
is an
Reid,
elderly man
love her.
who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies,
even Jen Psaki's like, what are you talking about, lady?
I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but
Like,
it's an elderly man coming through.
I mean, to use
He's like, no.
to use the narrative that's being out there. Let's 100%. That's what I mean. There's a chance we're never going to find out. We're not going to never know, because if it's an inside job, which a lot of evidence is showing,
it's either an inside job or a massive, massive failure by an agency that has lowered its standards to the point where it's unoperable at this point.
Yeah, and if they're never going to leak that, one, why? You don't need to, because it's for in his advantage. The thing's over. I mean, it was over to begin with the selection. It's super duper over now. Just like was it that there's that Protestant guy that said that he predicted that he saw in a vision. By the way, now Protestants the gift of prophecy. By the way, he said he saw a bullet go by, blew out his eardrum, and blah blah. The line was he was saved before, but now he's super saved. Like, where's the Protestant idea of super duper saved? And that neutralized Brandon. Brandon no longer. That's one reason they're going to get him out. They're saying now next week he'll be gone because his message is over. His whole message was we can't have him because he's a tyrannical fascist, whatever, and he's dangerous. Which goes into Glenn Greenwald and others going, wait a minute, you've been calling this guy Hitler for years. And now you're saying
almost 10 years now. For almost 10 years. Since
pray for
2015.
We hate Hitler. Now pray for Hitler. What is it?
Take the temperature in the room down. Isn't that what they were saying?
That's what they say. I mean, these guys, like McClanahan brought that out, saying the lefties are the most violent group out there, which they are. I mean, they just, you've seen it for years. I think here's a little bit about the whole
order. He has good sourcing.
Nope, that's not it. I got a video of them all just going, where is it? Not that one.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
That's it right there.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station. You get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of.
All right, so I mean, they've been preaching this for, like you said, years. The most violent group out there. And what do you, I mean, in a sense, what do you expect? But you got the Masonic line of dissolve and conjoin, order out of chaos. I mean, that's what it is right now. And what you got right now, everyone's saying unity at the RNC. You got Haley up there. Unity. What unity? Unity on what? JD Vance out there.
She was this close to becoming the nominee. You know, she's talking about unity. She was about what was the centimeter or whatever, how far away? Because she had the second most delegates. If something happened to him, she would have been the nominee by default. So she was like, well, I guess I'll be here, you blankety blank. I could have been the nominee if I needed it.
Hey, my thing to Catholics is, because I mean, is this that link right here? Yeah. This link. 5 signs that Trump had divine help. And I wish we could play. Fawaz sent it to us. Did you see it?
Yeah, the one on Twitter.
Yeah. Yep. Divine Providence. So here's it, the slight head turn. Now, if you look at if you go to Last Vagabond, this guy, Ryan Christian, he's been all over this and given 2-3 hour videos on everything that you could find on this, including angles, backstories, all that jazz. And he's got quite a few on there. It talks about that the angle just doesn't match up to what we're being told. There's the Ephesians 6 thing. The priest, Jason, Father Karen, going around saying, keep praying for him. They're going to shoot him or something like that. The flag becoming an angel, prophecy of a Protestant pastor. We got to be careful. That's my thing is chill out, pump the brakes, calm down. Don't get blown out of proportion in this. Because let's say someone finds out that this thing was a scripted event. It could happen. I mean, again, we brought WD up. You throw some, blood on the thing. You can do that. I mean, they say, wait, what about the shootings? Well, you can have shootings. Again, we haven't seen the body of Corey. Not saying that's 100% what happened, but there's ways. I mean, they can do all kinds of weird stuff anymore. If that comes out, that really throws out divine providence, and we look like a bunch of morons out there.
Yeah, the fact that we want to attribute everything to it. I mean, everybody goes, oh, well, across the street was a statue of Our Lady of Fatima with the 3 children in front. And obviously it's guys, yes, it was a small miracle that his head didn't get blown off. But do you have to just run to everything? And it's for clicks and all that stuff. It's really just to try to get traction online. That's right. Really it, because you see Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and all these others, the evangelicals spitting that out, and I guess they just want to be a part of the cool kids club at this point.
Yeah, Boebert's out there talking about the second coming of Christ is going to be Satan saying, "Get my people out of here." I can't. It's really gotten out of hand with these evangelicals too. And I mean, and to her point about we haven't seen a body. I haven't seen it. I've seen all kinds of videos. I haven't seen one body yet. I mean, could he have died? Yeah, I have no clue if he died or not. We're told to believe what we're supposed to believe. That's my point. We're told to believe X, never question it, just trust us. Again, take the jab, trust us because it's good for you. Because if you get the jab, you're not going to get Rona anymore. Trust us because we say so. It's the same mindset. Could he have died? Yeah. I have no clue. I'm told by bloggers who aren't there and the media who has lied to everyone for the last 4 years, 5 years, 20 years, 40 years to believe and shut up and not question anything. Because when you asked me what happened was Saturday, I'm watching this and the first thing the guy said when I turned it on was, in the land of deep fakes and AI, trust us. These were verbatim. Trust us. This is not a deep fake. Right off the bat, you're going, well...
what a very interesting thing to say. What a very interesting and weird thing to say.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one or two things. It's an inside job, or this thing was scripted. Either way, the thing's over, and we're never going to find out about it.
Yep.
And I mean, now the ear thing is the now the patch is the biggest thing where everyone's got a patch on now. It's you got LifeSite News saying if the blood was part of a what Henry said.
The blood was like a consecration or something like that. Yeah.
Just so bad. I mean,
it was so bad that Jonathan. Jonathan out in Rome's like, yeah, I gotta weigh in on this. He's just this is complete and utter nonsense.
It's just we're way off the reservation. Pump the brakes. Again, this goes into, well, you got an empirical presidency, you got centralization. Here's the other thing people are getting worked.
Republican platform, interestingly, has moved to the center on a couple of key issues. For the first time in 40 years, the Republican platform does not call for a federal abortion ban. It no longer defines marriage as between one man and one woman, but it doesn't. So is this a sign that your father is moving to the center in some ways or on some issues?
Yes, I think he's always been there on those issues, to tell you the truth. And I think that's reflective of who my father is and what he believes in. And I think that's reflective of my wife, Laura, who runs the RNC, and clearly what she believes in. And I'm proud of the party. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, this country has real holes in the roof, and you've got to fix those holes, and you've got to stop worrying about the little, spot on the wall in the basement. You've got to fix those holes, and we've got real immigration problems.
Yeah, babies being murdered, little spot in it's a problem in the basement. Not a big deal.
I mean, if you go like the evangelicals are losing it on this because of that. But again, this is smoking out everyone that's a centralist too. Because you're going, all right, the RNC's upset about not doing abortion marriage. I've actually seen folks on our side about, well, that's not in the Constitution. That's federalism. That's a state thing. Which again, I've been snarky online when I say, hey, Charlotte, somebody got shot in Charlotte. I go, is this a federal crime? I mean, really, everyone's like, well, murder is no, it's not. It's only treason is the only thing that when they even bring up murder at all. Murder is a state thing. It's state by state. You get driving is a state by state thing. Everything's a state by. Get a license to practice medicine, law, anything like that, state by state.
Insurance.
If we want if we want a blanket statement, and that goes back to the Abbeville's Institute video of has America gone too big? Because it goes to if we played a narrative of this one nation thing, which came at, by the way, last Sunday was Bastille Day, the beginning of the French Revolution. What do we get from the French Revolution? The end of republics, the small ones like Italy, the Republic of Venice. We've been over this before. All of a sudden, we got a centralized unit. France ended up having an election last week. What happened? Paris pretty much ran that election. Why? Because it's now a centralized entity. Now we want these big entities, China, Russia. Now we want the United States. We got the American state. I think somebody brought that up in the RNC, that we have the American state. That's blatantly false. This is a federal republic brought up by 50 nation states. Federalism goes to it. If you want to end abortion and you keep saying you're pro-life and you can't figure out that communism will not work for you, you're on the wrong team. You're part of the problem if that's the case. Because what is it? French Revolution brings in centralized government. What is the rotten fruit of French Revolution? Communism. By the way, Karl Marx was a big fan of some guy named Lincoln, which came out of one nation myth. A socialist came up with that idea of one nation. We pledge allegiance. That's a socialist pledge.
Yeah, they just threw in under God to pretty much fool everybody.
Yes, the whole thing. And sometimes it's not to our detriment. We've just been taught for years, almost a century, one nation, one nation, one nation. That 1860s ended what you celebrate on July 4th. When you had you look at, we love the fountain. No, we don't. Because those guys would never want a centralized government like we have today. Now, today, we want this big, gigantic elected monarch because, they're bringing up Vance with the IVF thing. Yeah, it's a bad thing with these one for IVF. We do know that the vice president has pretty much no power. It's zero. He can't do. First off, the president's not a legislator. The VP's not a legislator. VP's pretty much a puppet.
He's a backup quarterback.
Yeah, he's the backup to the back. Yeah, no power. But we care about what he thinks. Literally, we're so off on what things are supposed to be. We're doomed. it's going to be a massive collapse failure when this thing goes down. But everyone's going to be like, well, we'll just vote in 4 more years. Hey, let me go there and beat my head against the wall and just say, hey, I'm not insane. It's the same thing every year. And then if you say, well, let's get into federalism, like, oh, I can't believe you say that. One nation, I love my. All right, good luck. It's keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something else to change. And you want to end abortion? Federalism. Period. You want to end gay marriage? Federalism. You want to end all this nonsense? Federalism. The states could end it tonight. But no, we want a federal abortion ban, which is not going to work. It will never work. And you'll get Roe 2.0. And congrats, pro-lifers. You don't have a clue what you're talking about. And we're just going to get down worse and worse and worse every time we do it. Just because we got this centralized idea, we're poisoned by the French Revolution. And then we yell, we don't like communism. You embrace communism every time you think we need to get a better person, one person, to control or run 320 million people. We got 545 people representing 320 million. That's what, 900,000 to 1 ratio? That ain't representation. I mean, the founders talked about, was it 30,000 was the max? We have the decentralized states. But we got this idea. We got the state of America.
Yep, the blob of it. And it is funny. And I told, when just politically, when Vance was picked, I said, that's a terrible pick.
Oh, yeah.
And of course I was, oh, how could you? He's young and he's this and he's that. I'm like, he's kind of like bland. If you really wanted to go like MAGA, anti-assassination proof candidate, you might as well swing for the fences and make Vivek your VP. You know, you might as well just do that. And religiously and all that stuff aside, I mean, that's the guy you make. But the fact of the matter is, everybody wants everybody wants a centralized solution. Pro-Life Inc. loves a centralized solution because they get their 501c3 from it, and that's where they get all their funding via the grants and all that stuff, like we've already talked about a million times on the show. But the fact is, you know, the 20 points were pushed out. They removed abortion, they removed same-sex marriage, and they removed gun rights. The reason why is because they're codifying the fact that they are the Democratic Party from 1980. And that's who's at the head of it, a Democrat from the 1980s, and that's Donald Trump. Trump has never really been a firebrand conservative. I mean, he has conservative, ideas, some things, mostly financial. And in 2016, he was on fire for pro-life, which was great. Because he was still the only presidential candidate to ever describe a third trimester abortion on stage in the middle of a debate. But now that he's desperate to, I think he's doing that because I don't think he even knew if it was a long shot. He thought for him, he thought he was going to win, but it didn't hurt to be pro-life. Now that he's so desperate to get back in the White House, he's trying to couch his bets by doing all these things. Although, according to the way that the government is set up, he is correct that it is a state level issue. And any involvement at the federal level, like Steve said, it's going to turn on us, and it's going to be used by the left because the left wields power better than the right. They always have, they always will, which is why you need to vote down ticket, meaning governor, sheriffs, local city council, get those people in thinking along the same way you do. That's the best bet against all of this stuff. Because you're going to go to the RNC and you're going to see, do you have video from night 2, Steve? If you have that, you're going to
I got something that most of the JD guys don't know. I mean, yeah, you brought up someone texted me up. Oh, JD, he had convert Catholicism. I go, yeah, it's great. He sucks. Anybody heard of Peter Thiel?
Yep, he's his boy.
Outside of Rick and a couple people, everyone that's online probably has no clue who this guy is.
Yep. But you've used him before. If you've ever used PayPal, you know who Peter Thiel is.
Yep. He's obviously part of Bilderberg, Burke, if I can speak English.
Yeah.
Group provides surveillance. Palantir provides surveillance and other tech for Pentagram, or did I say Pentagram? Pentagon, and intelligence networks. Thiel and Vance also invest in Rumble and fund the Halo Group. Anyway, Thiel gave him a ton of money. So guess what? Now Thiel's in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
You got digital ID coming down the pipe, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, congrats. make America great again by enslaving you to the digital ID. I mean, Trump ended up saying he's not going to do CBDC a couple months ago. Again, is he the gospel? Has he ever lied to you? Unless he changes. Again, this goes back to the whole miracle thing. All right, I'll buy you miracle thing. I'll buy the divine providence thing. You get the father to jab, the most drone bombing president we've ever had, biggest Israel first, or most, as they said, biggest LGBT guy president we've ever had. You get him, if he changes his ways, I'll buy your divine providences. Until then, I don't buy any of that. There's no way I'm going to say, oh yeah, God protected Trump for what? Give me your argument. Tell me how to get Biden out, Brandon out. What does that do? To lower your gas prices? I mean, that doesn't. What is it? Tell me what the argument is, because he's still the same guy you had last time that brought in the swamp. I mean, this is the same guy. Hey, do we have to play the clip of him saying, "My good friends Hillary and Bill Clinton at the inauguration breakfast"? They're all friends. Brandon, if they didn't like each other, Brandon doesn't get on the TV and say, "Pray for Trump." We're toning it down a little bit. No, you strike while the iron's hot. You double down. You don't go, you know what? I'm just gonna hold off a little bit. That's not a winning attitude.
And so people are just, I don't know what the deal is with Vance, because Vance was a liberal. Vance wrote the book Hillbilly Edgy, LG or whatever it is. He got it made into a movie. He wanted to be a screenwriter and a movie star. And once that bombed, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally MAGA now. I'm totally conservative and stuff." And
he was a big anti-Trumper area.
Yeah, he was, and great, whatever, man, fine. But the fact of the matter is, he's also not a really good candidate. Trump dragged him, much like DeSantis, across the finish line. He pulled the worst when he was elected. Was it 2020 or 2018 or whatever? He pulled the worst out of DeWine, the lieutenant governor, and him. In a statewide race in Ohio, where it's pretty beat red at this point, he pulled the worst. He also, everybody remember Palestine? Remember everybody got mad at Joe? Palestine, whatever. JD Vance didn't talk about that for like 10 days in his own home state. He was kind of very quiet about that. I'm not saying there's anything bad about the guy, but he is not this perfect pick.
Let's not canonize him as a saint.
Just because he's Catholic, and the Catholics, of course, once again, have to run in and make fools of ourselves because he's Catholic, and it's like, oh well, what right is he in? Oh, he's in the Dominican right. Oh, what about this? And of course, we had to have fights about that too. How traditional is he? And is he a Catholic? What kind of Catholic? It's like, guys, can we stop looking dumb for 15 seconds? Just like they're praying to the god Vishnu or Wagyu burger at the RNC convention, and we're too busy fighting over what church JD Vance goes to.
I mean, I should stop calling the pentagram the pentagram. I say it because it's a play on words. It's supposed to be funny. Yeah. Let's laugh.
And a pentagram is evil, and so
it's fun. Yeah, the pentagram is not. I don't think
we're not doing it because it's accurate.
Good thoughts and good people. I don't think the Pentagon. That's the last thing I think of.
So it's very the idea is that the RNC night one, you had a woman that's famous for being on OnlyFans, but she's black, so that's cool. She got to give the last speech of the night, and everybody was really happy about that. And she's like, it doesn't matter if you're gay or straight or whatever, you're all welcome here. And we're going, yep, push us aside even more.
Kind of trolling.
Yep, and that was the same night they prayed to the Wagyu god or whatever that was. That was a lot of fun too. At that point,
just like that thing, the whole order of chaos thing. They know again, guy. I mean, my question intrigue, my mind just goes off of. Is there a coincidence that it happened right before the RNC thing, and then everyone's going to be, this is my guy. He got up, get up, and then you throw all that stuff at you. So now what are you going to do? This ain't my guy. Should I be on this guy? Now you're sold. You're in. You got divine providence there. Now we got, I guess, divine providence laying the Ishnu guys and all these other guys. And oh, by the way, we're Israel first.
Hello, Milwaukee.
gosh, these politicians
Let
are
me
terrible.
hear you cheer if you support Israel. Let me hear you cheer if you support Israel.
We are Jews for Trump.
Now, if someone tried that at the Democrats' convention, they'd be booed off the stage. But here, at the Republican convention, we proudly and loudly stand with Israel.
Pretty sure you will never hear
This
that at
election
an
is a
Israeli
critical
convention.
moment for the American Jewish community and for Israel. This is our chance
I mean, if
to
you're playing
continue
Israel
the
drinking-
incredible
Is there a drinking game?
clip.
You drink
You
every time
need
this
a
guy
liver
says
drink.
Israel? Because you're going to be dead in about 2
pro-Israel
minutes.
legacy of the most pro-Israel president
6.
in history, Donald J. Trump.
I'm going to fix it this
Probably
time.
lost count with 30 second drink.
Yeah. Oh, good. This guy's...
President Trump, among his many accomplishments, many of which they said couldn't be done, but he did it. He moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem.
Wow.
They said it couldn't be done, but he weakened the Iranian regime.
Who they were going to blame on the assassination attempt, by the way.
Yeah, they bring that up. That's a boogeyman. They got to give you somebody to say, hey, let's throw somebody some red meat. I guarantee you Iran had nothing to do with any of that.
Here's another thing, Steve. They had the intel that was supposed to be that they knew that of an attempt. There was going to be an attempt on Trump Saturday, and so you had that attempt. If it was successful, now you had you had the pretext to go to war with Iran, and everybody would have been on board. Oh, the Iranians killed Trump. Well, time to go, carpet bomb them even more into the Stone Age, and time to occupy them because we have all those bases around there. It's time to put them to good use.
If you want to check out, anybody wants to check out Last American Vagabond, which I just told you about, the last one that he put up. The first 2 hours is on the whole shooting thing. There was a Twitter space or X space, whatever it is, something space from last week. Was it maybe the week prior? That legit thing. They had there was like 100,000 people or something listening, and they mentioned someone goes, oh, "We just heard that Trump got shot." As they brought up, and they were both, and these are Derek Bros and Brian Christian are both on there going, we looked this up, this is real, this is what, and something, did something just accidentally get leaked? Because this wasn't like, I can't remember the name of the group that had Twitter space. It's on the website, you can click it, it's all open source, you click it, it'll go right to it. But it was a big name thing because they were talking about Catholics in it, and somebody said, hey, anybody have any info on it? Again, it goes into a lot of questions that we're never going to hear. No.
They said it couldn't be done, but he delivered the historic Abraham Accords, bringing us closer to peace in the Middle East.
Yep, you see that now with that whole October war thing, October 7th.
With President Trump, we will repair and rebuild the U.S.-Israel relationship that has deteriorated after 4 disastrous years under President Biden.
How?
Now, today, 9 months after the historic Hamas attacks, shockingly, President Biden is still
DoorDash. He's getting DoorDash.
Israel needs to defend
I guess this
itself.
guy filmed it from his phone.
What are you getting, buddy?
America must stand with Israel and against the terrorists, especially Iran.
Especially
we
the
must
terrorists.
stand with the Israeli people.
Drink.
Now, my message here today to the Jewish community is clear. There is only one pro-Israel party, and it's the Republican Party.
And guess what? Half of the Israeli people will still vote for Democrats.
And here at home, under Donald Trump, we will put a stop to the rising tide of anti-Semitism. President Trump will bring back law and order so that American Jews can once again wear a kippah and walk the streets without fear.
Where's that happening that they're going to fear?
President Trump will stop the mobs on the college campuses so Jewish students feel safe when they go to class.
That goes with that imperial president thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Jewish community is ready to help elect Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. The Jewish vote continues to increase for Republicans year after year, and I promise you 2024 will be no different.
All right, I can't take it anymore. You got Benjamin Netanyahu out there doing a video too. An attack against Trump is an attack against us. And it's
everybody's ready to start shooting. Everybody is.
Yeah. I wonder when he gets selected again, because we already said he was going to win. There's no chance he's not going to win. Now, just again solidified everything. Will the West Coast break off? God only, please. I mean,
don't tease me.
I know. I mean, I'm going. What are they going to do? I mean, are they going to do another lady in the stands crying about it? Just going to go to TVs and go crazy about it? I mean, they're going to get rid of Brandon somehow. Maybe they're going to let him die from Rona and then try to bring that back. That was a cool meme the other day of, the Iwo Jima Trump photo. They put Biden in place. That was part of the meme, the thumbnail. I was like, I couldn't resist because
I mean, that was pretty quick work too, especially when you got Joy Reid being like, "Well, this will be his moment. He's going to get over the sniffles." And it's going to be like the same thing. The same thing is getting shot at and so forth. Even though this is, I mean, I have been 100%. They're riding with Biden to the convention. I've been on board with that. But even I'm like, because a couple hours before, Steve, he said, if I get sick or something happens, then I'll consider leaving. And then 2 hours later, he's like, I got COVID. It's just kind of weird how that works.
Fox News earlier today, Barack.
I want to read from him directly. Former President Barack Obama,
or the current President Barack Obama,
has told allies in recent days that President Biden's path to victory has greatly diminished, and he thinks the president needs to seriously consider the viability of his candidacy. And here's the sourcing. Multiple people briefed on his thinking. This does not show up by accident, Emily. He has greenlighted, in my opinion, as someone who's worked in press, his aides to share this with the Washington Post.
Which is a crucial sea change, Kaylee. And actually before, Marie, when you were talking about it, in my head I was like, no, he doesn't need to come out and say it, because he did it non-verbally. When he guided the president off the stage, he showed the world the president's frailty. He showed the world that Barack Obama was still the elder of the party, although, Marie, that made me feel like I'm an ancient. But at the end of the day, we are now seeing the materialization of the apparitions. Right? Because prior to this, for example, as former Speaker Kevin McCarthy said, well, Pelosi controls everyone, right? So Schiff coming out and saying that meant Pelosi told him to do so. Well, then we have reporting that Pelosi herself is speaking face to face with Biden and saying it's time to give this a rest. So what we are seeing is those unseen hands that we knew guiding those forces, writing the letter for George Clooney, telling him to come out. All of those forces are all of a sudden now saying, I'm putting my name directly out there. That represents a fundamental current change. And I think at the end of the day, we are now seeing Biden against the world.
Oh boy. Biden contra mundo. You mean?
I mean, good thing is he can't remember that it's him against the world. So, he keeps his spirits up.
I mean,
he's got that fighter
American Reagan or something like that the other day, or about to say it, or
he's got that fighter Jill Biden by his side. He ain't gonna lose nothing with her there.
Sharp as a tack.
She is going to keep fighting on that one until the very last breath that he has, right? Even if he's on a ventilator, if they put him on a ventilator because of COVID, she will wheel him around that White House, even after he's dead, probably for a couple days, just while they're trying to figure out, what's going on with.
I was stumbling on this while it was going on. Not stumbled. I had it up. I just didn't bring it up. One of the other questions about this whole thing. Anybody seen this before? The rumor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he comes out and it says, "Hey, you got the wrong guy." There's just weird stuff. I mean, you got the Jonathan Willis coming out. How come he hasn't been on any interviews talking about this? Either he's lying or something went down. Napolitano had this one on the show the other day, which him and a couple other guys, Secret Service and FBI guys were talking about that, or former CIA guys. There's just a ton of questions with this. Either way, you're gonna get DJT in.
He's there. He's there. Yeah, and folks, Steve's sending me like 37 different texts saying it's gonna be Michelle. It ain't gonna be Michelle. I know. Like, I got 12 notifications on my phone. He spelled it out.
I just went M-I-C-H-E-L.
Yeah, it's not going to be Big Mike. She is not going to step into this poop show.
Is this as we got Trump Vance TV as WWF is like this? What a spin! As
Right.
James Brown Pilato
Okay.
on Media Monarchy out on Monday, he goes, laughing about this. He goes, "Are you not entertained, Gladiator?" And he goes, "Heck yeah, I am. This is amazing TV." Because again, it's all
amazing. I mean,
keeps
you
your
and I
eyeballs
talked about it when they
eyeballs
started
on it.
doing the Biden stuff a couple weeks ago. They took a boring election.
Oh,
Where everybody was like, yeah, it's going to be it's Donald Trump. It's the middle of the summer. We're just kind of waiting for this thing to go over, especially after the debate. Call it a day. Have a good one. Then they started doing the Joey B. He's got to leave. Is he going to leave? Is he going to not? It's going to be Kamala. Who's it this? And then Trump gets shot at. And this thing is, season 46, season 47 of America's Next Top President. This thing is getting off. This thing's going off the chain. And we're only in July, brother. We got a lot of time left.
He's more Trump.
Yeah. Days of our Trump.
It is lit. No kidding, man. It's you can't have just a weird scripted thing. And again, just everything that's gone by around. If you don't question everything, just blindly take everything as is, I don't understand how you can wade through all this nonsense. I mean, there's this, like I said, people online have utterly lost their minds. And someone brought up the Catholic channels. There are some guys that have sold out to the Trump team. Clearly, some want the lightning to be struck again, as one became who he is now because Trump retweeted them last time. Now everybody wants to get on that same plane. Let's take that playbook.
The Trump train, baby.
Will retweet us.
When you when you see the Trumpster coming, man, you get it.
Has he gone wrong?
They took the Raw's war theme and they put him when he came in on Monday.
Oh, okay. I was like, he was on Monday.
No, when he walked in on Monday, they put the Raw's war thing from the early 2000s. It's just like when you see DJ coming.
They came out with a new video, I think, the other day. I mean, they're definitely playing on the emotional course and everything. Which, again, marketing. The dude knows how to market. He's a marketing genius.
He put out sneakers with the shot on them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, literally, he put him out with the shot. So it is what it is.
You got guys calling him 50 Trump because 50 Cent got shot a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, 50 Cent played that in Boston that night with the superimposed image behind him. So. I will say the hood memes about Trump getting shot have been fire. I'm not going to lie about that. And they're like, Trump, you need to get like 50 of us. We got yous.
Yeah, he's as gangster as you can get.
He's been put in jail. He's been shot at. He's been divorced 3 times. This man is the American president.
That was that one guy. The joke is, what is that? My uncle? This guy? We would play that video, but I don't have the beat button.
We cannot. In good conscience, we cannot play that video. It's awful. Funny, but awful.
Yeah, hysterically good, but yeah.
I mean, that's instant reaction to what's been happening about Trump. And then you had the this one. We can play this. You can just see this one in the back if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. This is pretty hysterical. Let me get it to a second page so we can screen share this. Trump is inspiring everybody around the world, Steve, including the kids of the Congo. Let me see if I can. Oh man, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. Yeah. So apparently the kids in the Congo redid the entire Trump got shot at. And they did it with a bunch of sticks and stuff, which was pretty funny. Yeah, they did it a lot better. They did it a heck of a lot better. Let me get the screen share up here. Yes, thank you. There it is. A must watch. Watch this dramatic reenactment. He even does the fist bump. He even does. Look at this kid. This kid is a natural. So he even went from everything.
I want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
I'm going to say this kid's a heck of a lot quicker than the actual real Secret Service. So, I mean, good for them. Good for them. Get a couple 100,000 hits off of that. So,
well, and then in another way, we could think, what is the right hand doing? We're focused on I'm left-handed, so it would be a left cross. But think about this one's punching, giving you a jab. This hand's doing something over here. We're getting had some way while everyone's dart focused on this and literally nothing else. I mean, I put a newsletter out Sunday, and it's the only time people gave me pushback on anything. There's people just upset about, because I mentioned something about they don't focus 100% on this. Your holiness is way more important than that. And I told them, so people are going to be talking about this ad nauseum 24/7 for the next few days, and that's it. If you can't talk about the faith like you are talking about this, then there's something, you got a problem. And people were literally rubbing back saying they were upset and how that was a hateful message, because I had said, guys, don't this, because in a sense, how did that affect, outside of, all right, let's he's in the government, so it's going to affect you. Did that affect your Sunday? Did that affect your Saturday? Did it affect your Monday?
Oh, did you see that tweet? I don't mean to interrupt you. Do you see that tweet from that guy? It's like, if your preacher didn't talk about the assassination attempt on Sunday, you need to find a new church. And I was like, no, you don't. Mine didn't. We talked about what happened in the actual. Yeah, I actually kind of like the fact that for an hour and 10, 15 minutes, I didn't have to worry about Donald Trump or any of the other kind of stuff that was being done out there. I was like, okay, cool. Let's focus on eternity, right? Let's focus on a holy death and a blessed eternity, not this nonsensical garbage that's going out there.
Well, the Americanism that Leo XIII talked about has morphed into this insane Americanism religion for both. I mean, that you talk about uniting all parties, and you talk about uniting all one religion, all religions, all this. Now you're united with this new savior, and I'm not calling him the Antichrist, because there was people that talked about that whole the mortal wound and all that. I'm going, hey man, chill out. These were secular guys. Chill out. You're wrong. Here's why. Enough of this. That was before the Catholics went nuts on this, and then the evangelicals. The secular guys were going like, is this the Antichrist mortal wound? I don't believe in all this, but is there? So they were doing it. Everybody, non-believers and believers, have all been doing this weird stuff with this, but it's all been hyper focused on him being the chosen one. I think he called himself the chosen one, and we all believe in it. Go back to, I had a friend of mine email me, said we need a strong leader. I go, no, we need a humble leader. And no one goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go up and I'm going to rule 320 million people because I know how to do it.
Yeah. Anybody that does that, straight up narcissist, left, right, or center.
That's all these guys. That's all. I mean, the order to Cincinnatus, which Washington was part of, is, what is this? He was a farmer. They asked him to come over to beat the emperor of Rome. He did his job and he went back to farming. Anybody that's going to go back to that? I mean, you got John Q. Adams that he left the presidency, went back to the Senate, died poor, but he went to the Senate going, I could do more in the Senate than I could as a president.
Well, they actually believed in it being he was the House of Representatives. He believed in it being the people's house.
Yeah.
He actually believed in that form of government. He didn't believe in it like AOC or Matt Gaetz or any of these other guys as a pathway to just money, transitional, generational wealth.
Yep, money and power. That's what we got right now. Money and power. Franklin warned about it. You're gonna, because they were talking about not paying the executive back then, and Franklin warned, if you give them pay with the power, he said something like power by itself and money by itself is not bad, but when you equal the two, you're going to get the worst of the worst getting that position. And what have we had for Obama, Bush, all these guys, Clinton? Anybody say these guys were virtuous people for the last how many years? Going to FDR, Wilson, all these guys. None of them. They all wanted the power and the control. I mean, FDR wanted to be.
He wanted to be your emperor. If he didn't die in his mistress' arms, you could have had it at that point. But the fact of the matter is, they were like, you can't run. Nobody really runs two terms, and he was like, watch me, hold my wheelchair. I'm gonna do this.
It's like Will Chamberlain. They had to come out with the new rules because of Will. They had to come up with a new amendment because of FDR. I mean, when you do something like that.
Yep, it is. It is pretty insane in that regard. That is the whole thing with Americanism. It's just completely evolves to make itself sustainable, if that makes sense. It doesn't exist to make your life better.
I bet a ton of the YouTube guys wish they could be on stage at the RNC the last couple of days.
Oh, are you kidding me?
They're upset that they didn't get the invite and they're not talking of that. I don't even want it on TV. I don't even want it. You shouldn't even be there because it's, again, some uniparty, as everyone says. It's one team. It's WDF, good guys versus bad guys. Is that one the The
whole
clip
thing was supposed to be just a boring, like, hey, we're all here to count the votes from the primary.
Yeah, we're
and
done.
Then,
Here we go.
we're gonna just, we're gonna just put this together. And now it's kind of like the pro-life march. It's a party.
Yeah, it's a
right?
big party.
It's a big party for everybody to go there and spend money and do all these other kinds of things. And so,
yeah, who's
just
who?
another,
who can kiss butt the most party convention.
Who can brown nose like no tomorrow?
And both teams will do it.
Right?
Coach
Who
will
can
do
brown?
it. Will do it.
Yeah, they can all do that stuff, man. It's crazy. And
at the end of it, you lose. Rick,
you and I get nothing. We get nothing out of the convention. Not a thing. I guess I'm lying because we get a little bit of entertainment, but outside of that, we get nothing.
Well,
so
the Iceman cometh.
Trump? Forget about the presidency. First of all, I don't
This
vote.
is Steve's
I don't
new
care about
favorite clip
politics.
of all
Never
time.
have, never registered. Have no opinion about anything. I have fans on both sides of all that, and I would never alienate them. And I just look at it like you guys get.
That's his biggest flex that he still has fans.
Sit in your voting line. They don't pay you. They don't pay you to go form an opinion about that guy or this guy, but yet you fall victim to all of it, right? Like, turn the news channel off. Go to Florida. This is why Florida exists. We have palm trees and pina coladas while you're sitting in your voting line.
It's a Florida ad and a Vanilla Ice ad. He is just pumping them out.
Oh yeah.
What's going on in my life?
You're anything less than the best of the belly.
Right?
We've lived through dozens of presidents, man. Ain't nothing ever
Don't hit the
changed.
bullseye. The kid don't
Why
play.
would you fall victim to the propaganda, to the opinion forming? They don't pay you a penny. Now let's look at the end of your life. You have a list. What did I spend all this time on?
Who did I vote
Let's
for?
calculate all of it together and put it in a circle graph, and then you'll see that the graph that you thought was an hour on TV here one night, 2 hours on TV.
Anyway, you get it. What do you get at?
We've seen it. This is now like a standard video within the News from the Pew lineup. Is we got to hear from Vanilla Ice every time about this whole thing.
You know what? I got
no hatred for Vanilla.
How
You know what I mean? Oh, good. I'm glad we had to dig that sucker back up.
Greta's my girl. She's gonna be. I got her on standby every time.
Oh yeah, she's pro Palestine now, so it's all good.
Yes. Well, it'd be my girl is, and I'm on speed dial with her. But no.
Okay, Steve. Okay, we got it recorded, buddy. Don't worry about that. We got you. Speaking of which, I think it's time for our saint of the week in our cry room, because speaking of the convention, I will be on with Mike Church tonight at starting 5:30 Central Time, waiting for DJ to come out and declare a new jihad or whatever. So I don't know, whatever the case may be. So my saint of the week is something that I already mentioned, and that's Hulk Hogan speaking at the convention tonight. It is a match made in heaven, and sorry, Lord, it's a match made in Americanism, with Hulk Hogan coming out right before Trump. And I will change this pick next week if they don't use Real American. I'm going to be so disappointed. That's the only thing. I don't care about anything else. I just want that to happen. I just want Trump to come out to Real American, maybe rip the tie off and throw it in the crowd. I don't know. Maybe they should install turnbuckles on the edges so he can Stone Cold Steve Austin and stand up on the top of them. Like, let's just go. Let's just do
right when they start playing it.
Just kidding.
Sorry. But for my my cry room, it's got to be Joey B. Just for today. He thought this was his wife. Joe's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, Joe, don't you try to kiss her. Go that way. I want to kiss the other lady. The saddest thing in the world is the fact that they still push this man around.
If you get the shot, you can't get the scary sniffles.
And or you can't get to retain your memory, one or the other. So
I was curious. Someone asked, I would know how many shots he had. I don't believe that any of these guys took that thing. I mean,
no, those are all vitamin C shots. Those are all vitamin D.
When they got the EpiPen, they had the retractable sting in it, and they shot it out. They got the placebo. They didn't get the stuff that's actually hurting people.
They were all just vitamin shots. They were nothing, not even close to actual.
Yeah, there was a stat. I can't remember what. I think it was. I can't remember the website. I have it saved. That showed that everywhere that was people were getting hurt was quote unquote red states. There was the discrepancy between hurt and not hurt was big time red states. Not that many in the blue. So here in North Carolina, you weren't that many.
Okay, what do you got for cry room and saint of the week?
I'll go saint of the week. I'll go with what's going on in the. Even though it's not going to do much, the National Eucharistic Congress up in Indianapolis, which I would love to have gone. I was trying my best to get a table up there because I usually get a table booth at all these things. Charlotte, I'll have one. Cost me $300 for 2 tables. But the national one was $5,000. So I don't have that kind of coin to pull that one off.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, plus room and board. So that would have been at least a 10G a week, I guess. Or
because of course everything, the hotel rooms have to go up in price because of it. It's not like they can stay reasonable, which is why I'd like a trailer. If you can all go fund me a trailer, then I don't have to do these things and I can go to these places. Y'all think I'm nuts until you see these issues. You know, I would let Steve, drive down here. He could use my trailer driving out to LA. He could, do census for him every day and all that other kind of stuff. So
I would have loved to have gone that thing. I would have, but to have to haul all the stuff I have to give away because I don't sell anything. Because everyone that is up there are probably selling it. Ain't nobody giving away anything. And I would have been out $5,000. I was trying. I talked to Father R and even Ryan. Hey man, you guys want to go with threes on this? I mean, if we do this,
we got to
split. We got a table of thirds.
Yeah. Yep.
And it still was astronomically more expensive than just like you said. I could have 3 tables for $400 here in Charlotte and make a bigger impact than I did at the national thing. Which again goes to the national thing. Why have a national? If you have it local, you'll be able to get way more people, have it cheaper, and you're more influential on that thing. But everything's got to be centralized. My cry room, can I throw out every person that has gone out and says, for a fact, infallibly, 100%, no questions asked, this was divine intervention. Yes, I believe in divine providence. Yes, I get all that. Yes, I get. Come on, again, just pump the brakes. We've gone to Cuckooville. Chill out. That's one thing I love about Corbett is when something like this always goes down, he's never the first online. He's always, let me find out more of the research. Let me find out more of the info, and we'll do something on this. Christian was the same way. He waited a few days and got all the info beforehand. Everyone else, we got to be the first to retweet. We got to be the first to do this, even if we're wrong. Okay, we got the first. Just like
it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if you're wrong. You just have to be out there.
I'll go. Maybe I'll do this. Amend that cry room. Everyone that promoted the rumor that the TLM was dying 2 days ago.
Remember that?
And nothing happened.
Bombshell news. Bombshell news. I got a source that says it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Stop the rumors. Did anybody get upset at any of those guys that put out to help promote the rumor that nothing happened? Nope. We had the Trump thing. No one's even thinking about that anymore. I mean.
While they're still going to the Latin Mass,
we weren't having a mass anymore.
Yep. They're still going to the Latin Mass 3 weeks after they said it was going to be banned.
They have a TLM at the Eucharistic Congress in Indianapolis. But yet, you're not going to see that. I mean, here in my area, the bishop goes out to Rome, gets the TLM okayed by the Pope. And did you see that report? No one talked about that. It's only bad news that our guys like to put out. Is that a sermon that the one Byzantine priest, be the bee, not the fly. We got a lot of people like flies landing on poop. We don't like being the bee landing on pretty flowers.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's a good way to describe it, Steve. And I think we'll end on that. And so,
someone asked, why didn't I ask my audience for 5K? Because I don't want to ask the audience for 5K for that.
You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to ask your audience for 5K because it shouldn't be $5,000, and that's where we run into these kind of problems. Where
I haven't asked. I don't think I've asked for donations outside. I'll throw it on the newsletter every so often, but I haven't asked that.
You should ask for donations for me so I can get a trailer.
4 years. Well, I quit. I stopped during the Rona times because YouTube ended up jumping the ads up a little bit, and I go, well, you know what? I'm not. Everyone's struggling. I'm not going to ask for anybody for. I'll let the YouTube guys. I'll take the dark side money for that. And people get upset. Oh, you're using the ads. All right, then what do you want? You don't want this. You don't want that. How you do it? And anyways, but no, I hate asking. So I probably could have. So
especially for something like that, it's hard to. It's not a need, so it's hard to ask for something.
I did it in Catholic Answers had one. Ryan and I both I fundraised for both of us to get out there to have a table, and that was I think it was $800 table. That was the most expensive table I ever had. 6-foot table, $800. We had the flight and the room and board out there. We were out, and I thought it was a waste. We both had half the table. They capped the people at like 600, 700 people that were in there. Way better, high dollar blood than I could ever live with. And so for 5G now I think we could have done some impact, but come see me in Charlotte. I'll go in with a wheelbarrow of stuff, probably stacked 6-8 feet high, and I'll leave with maybe one row of stuff, and it's all given away. So for me to haul all that stuff up is just, and it's not, it would be quote unquote worth it, because then I have to resupply, because that one is in a month and a couple days. Then I got prayer cards that no one's ever seen before that I made up and whatever. So if anybody's out there wants me to give away anything, just mail it to me and I'll give it away. So anyway, sorry, go ahead. Back to you, Rick.
All right, that's going to be it for this episode of News from the Pew. Please like, subscribe, and share the News from the Pew. We will talk to you all next week. God bless and Viva Cristo Rex.